Okay, lads, so let's preview Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester United in the Europa League final. Somehow we've got to this point in Bilbao. Both Spurs and United will be there. Andy is our resident Tottenham Hotspur expert and fan, so we'll come to you in a minute, Andy, let you collect your thoughts a little bit while Nick and I discuss this. But Nick, as neutrals, how excited are we for this? Because these two teams have been terrible in the Premier League this season, have been prioritising the Europa League for months, it seems. They've got to this point. It's just the stakes are incredibly high, right? For the drama is there. You win, you're in the Champions League if you're Amrim or Postecoglou, get loads more money to spend on new players. Everything's rosy, kind of. But if you lose, I mean, don't even want to think about that, do you? I mean, again, as Andy, sorry, mate, we're going to go to Nick first. But Nick, what are your thoughts? I mean, I'm excited about this, as you can tell.
I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy talking about this until we started talking about it.
I'm glad someone's going to enjoy it.
I almost laughed 3 times during your intro because what popped into my head is so many moments from this season, whether it's Ange Postecoglou winning, I win trophies in my second season. Well, what if you don't? And for Man United just being like, think about the last 2 months in the Premier League if you didn't watch the Europa League games, just how awful they've been. And then you watch the Europa League and they have been pretty fun. So yeah, I am very excited. Spice up my midweek.
Oh, it's going to be a spicy evening in Bilbao for sure. Like, oh my word. Andy, I'm coming to you now, mate. I'm going to come into the big question around Spurs. Okay, we're focusing on them. We know there's injuries. We know, lack of creativity potentially in this game with Kulusevski out injured, Bergvall struggling, Maddison out injured. Son probably only fit for 20, 30 minutes. There's a lot of issues, again, with Spurs of injuries. But I guess the big question is around Ange, right? If they win this, as a Spurs fan, what is your opinion? Does he stay? Is he gone even if they win this? I mean, what do you want to see? Because if he does win this trophy and deliver, like he said, they're in the Champions League, he has the potential to bring in much better players, fresh start, all the rest of it? Or do you think it's better for Spurs as a club to say, thanks, Ange, this isn't working, even if you add 5 or 6 good players next season? Best for everyone if we just go our separate ways, but you've done a decent job to deliver this trophy. Compose yourself. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I could spend 20 minutes on that question alone. Before I answer it, though, I would like to make a suggestion for this Europa League final. Obviously, winner to the Champions League, loser to the championship next season, because currently 16th, 17th in the league. Let's maybe extend one more relegation place.
Cool.
It would be fitting for the way that these teams have performed and to some degree treated the league season this year. And I think that's Spurs fans' biggest gripe about Ange is what they have lost. Is it 20 or 21 games now in the league this season, which is not great at math, more than half of them. 36 games into the season, they got 38 points. It's real bad. So I think when we get to the summer, I don't think the final matters. If they lose, I think Ange is certainly gone. Even if they win, though, I think it's a situation of he doesn't seem happy at all. And obviously winning, a European trophy would be a happy moment. But I think when he looks at the whole of his entire experience as Tottenham Hotspur manager, I think it's going to feel a lot like it did for Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho and Nuno Espirito Santo, where it just wasn't fun. It didn't go well. The team didn't perform the way that they needed to. And the only difference, I guess, well, Nuno didn't, but the other two made themselves the villain. Ange has spent most of the season pushing back on a lot of the narratives and the way that the team is talked about, or the way that he's talked about, or the way the club is talked about. That is one thing I have appreciated about Ange this season is it, not to make it about, this is my team or whatever, but there is a lot of narrative that gets built around Spurs. And it typically tends to be negative, whether it's a negative or positive moment, a positive topic, it somehow gets spun into, well, hey, Spurs haven't won a trophy since 2008. They just need to win any trophy. Now they're 90 minutes from winning a trophy. It's, well, but they're so terrible in the league, they don't even deserve it. And we should change the rules about qualifying for the Champions League because of it. And so he has pushed back against a lot of that. And I think that's necessary. And I appreciate that from Ange. But I also, at the same time, I don't think you can play the way that he wants to play at the highest level of the game. I think it works when you have the best team in the league, when you have the biggest squad in the league, when you have the most talent, and you can physically and technically just dominate all but one or two teams in the league. But when everybody is on such a almost level footing, the way that you are in the Premier League, it kind of gets found out pretty quick. And we've just seen Spurs, out tactic, out nuanced, outplayed almost every single game for the last 2/3 of the season. So that's a long way to say that I think Spurs will have a new manager in August, regardless of what happens on next Wednesday.
Okay. I think I agree with all of that, Andy. And I feel better for you that you got all that off your chest there, mate. Nick, in terms of the new manager, Ruben Amorim, it'll be about 6 months into the gig at Man United when this final rolls around. He's been a bit downbeat, right, in recent weeks. And I think maybe being realistic, but maybe a bit too harsh on himself. I mean, he inherited a mess. Yes, it's not been great. But win here, he's got the ability to make big changes in the summer through recruitment, etc. I mean, in my opinion, this poor season he's had so far in the Premier League has really kind of helped him and helped the expectation levels around Man United just kind of level off a bit, and has maybe done him a bit of a favor in terms of, okay, we really need to rebuild this squad and get rid of a lot of these players. Like, clearly they aren't good enough. But what they've been able to do in the Europa League is shown glimpses of what is achievable, especially if they do get into the Champions League next season. So what's your feelings on Amorim United, the project? I mean, I would argue that United need this win much more than Spurs do. Yes, it's a trophy, all the rest of it, but it feels like this is huge for United and their project and rebuild, and if they're ever going to get anywhere near those top 2 or 3 teams in the Premier League again in the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, they need the Champions League next year. I'm going to say something that I don't know that we've said, but I think we might all agree on. I really like him as a personality. I like the things he says. Yeah. I think he's probably a very good manager, but as we've seen with both of these clubs, Spurs and Man United, that doesn't always mean a lot. There are so many square pegs here. I think, and I don't mean to hate on a kid here when I say this, when you look at the lineup that gets consistently put out there, and you see him consistently choosing Garnacho for a position he doesn't fit in, I think it underscores the whole situation. I think there are guys there playing a role, and you can talk about whether he should be playing the system. That's been bandied about quite a bit.
Of course.
But he is. I admire him for it. I thought he was kind of ridiculous to go off on his team the other day until I realized he wants them to show up every game. He really is viewing this as if no matter what happened this year, short of relegation, I was going to be back. I did not want to come. They knew I did not want to come. I wanted to wait till the end of the season. Everybody should know that. And I'm going to keep telling you that because I didn't know that this would happen. I didn't quite realize what this would be like, but I knew I didn't want to go through this, but the job is so good and the club is so big. And I wanted to be a part of the project so much that I'm putting up with this insert expletive there. And so I do respect that. I'm not telling you he's going to fix it. I'm not telling you players are going to want to come there this summer. And I'm not telling you that the off field, which has been kind of grody over there, is going to clean itself out otherwise. I'm just telling you, I think pound for pound, looking at what both of these managers have done this season with the obstacles they've put in, that both of them, you could make an argument that they deserve their jobs next season, regardless of the situation. Throw in the situation, and I think Amorim's well set up, and I think I'm going to pick them to win this game. Sorry, Andy. I want Andy to be happy. Again, like the Palace Man City discussion, I would prefer that Andrew be happy.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, like you say that, but like in terms of the favourites for this game, I mean, United are the favourites. With the
how much? I haven't looked.
Yeah, so that kind of surprised me a bit, but like it was. Tottenham Hotspur have won all 3 games, both in the Premier League and the League Cup against United this season. So it shows you they match up well against them, etc. But I think United, the moment they're in right now, is a little bit better than Tottenham Hotspur's form and the players that Spurs are missing in key areas. And I think you have to hand it to Amorim and United. In the Europa League, their path has been a lot harder, and they've definitely in the quarters and the semis really surprised most of us, I think, by knocking out Lyon and Bilbao. So I think I'm going to go for them to win this. Sorry, Andy. I think 2-1. I think the likes of Bruno Fernandes or Amad Diallo or even Garnacho, I think they just have that desperation a little bit more than Spurs to win this. And I think Spurs are missing too many key parts of midfield to have any kind of control in this game that they really want to calm it down. And I think they'll have to play a totally different way to win this final. And I don't trust Spurs to be able to do that. So that's why I'm going for Manchester United. Andy, coming to you, mate.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's on. The key matchup in this game, it's Ange and Amorim. It is how much, and he has done it. I will give him all the credit in the world. Spurs have not impressed in the Europa League even as they've won and advanced, not at least to my eye. And I kind of don't know how they're here in this moment, to be honest with you. But Ange has, it's been a little bit more reserved and conservative, and we're going to manage the game, and we're going to defend with some numbers, and we're not going to throw everything for it. And if they try to do that in this game, then that plays right into what United do very well at the moment. It is kind of a one-trick pony, set pieces, but also the counterattacking for Manchester United is devastating at the moment. And so if Spurs give them those opportunities, I don't think it'll be particularly close. And so maybe the injuries aren't going to help Spurs, but I think it is going to force Ange to have to play a little bit more that way in this game. I will say United, the only non-relegation team that Spurs have beaten in the Premier League in 3.5 months. And so that tells you which team is that stat worse for? I guess Spurs, but not much better for
We're laughing
United.
again.
So,
we are laughing.
Yeah. I know. Maybe we should relegate one of these teams, whoever loses, right? I think. Oh,
pick Spurs. Come on.
1-0 Spurs. Yeah, 1-0 Spurs.
Nice.
Probably a penalty. I don't think there's going to be many chances in this game. Finals typically kind of don't, and I think it certainly behooves Spurs to play the game that way. And I think it's a little easier to make the game ugly and closed off than it is to get the game open and running end to end. So I'll go Spurs. Yay, go Spurs. And Ange can still say that he won a trophy in the second season, pretty much everywhere that he's gone. He can have his victory lap, and the club can be in a much better situation going from the worst Premier League season in my fanhood into the next campaign.
Nick, score prediction. I know you said United were going to win, but is it going to be close?
Oh, I think it's going to be really close. Yeah, I just first of all, I do want Spurs to win for Andy, but for some other friends as well. I don't know. I mean, I think Bruno's the best player on the pitch and on either team, and I also think they've got more guys who have been there. Casemiro has been on every stage. He's been a little bit better lately. A couple guys like that in the team. Maguire has played in Europa League finals. So I'll go 2-1. And the Kulusevski injury is just massive.
Yeah, it really is. All right, head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com. All roads lead to Bilbao, and ferries and planes and everything. There'll be so many fans from Spurs and Man United heading to Spain for this massive Europa League final on Wednesday, May 21st. Cannot wait for this one. Let's see which Premier League giant can save their season and be in the Champions League next season. I know Andy's going to be watching from behind the sofa. A lot of people will be as well. But we're hoping for a brilliant game in Bilbao. Thanks, Nick and Andy, for joining me. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And we'll speak to you all very soon. Cheers, guys.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Lowe, and as we head towards the end of an exciting Premier League season, make sure you like and subscribe on the NBC Sports YouTube channel for more content like this.